So, Jamar, let's talk about how you can grow or how artists can grow their PMU clients.
Cool. Yes, let's talk about it. So we talked about in the last video a lot of just good business practices on growing your PMU business. So now let's sort of like drill down, as we've mentioned, on how you can just grow your clientele. And if you didn't see the first video, go back and at some point watch that video because we talked a lot about some of these marketers out there trying to entice you to work with them and promising you all of these lofty dreams of
That's
many
right.
different PMU clients in like a short amount of time. And, go back and watch that video, but we want to just kind of expose some of that and talk
Yes.
things for what it is. But I think in these times, and we're not saying that those options are not good, but you have to think about the quality of leads that you're getting when you're putting things out there about ads and so forth and so on with working with some of those marketers. But some things that you can do just off the bat, especially if you're a brand new PMU artist, is starting to just build a portfolio and trying to get friends, families, coworkers, people that you know. Funny story, maybe you might want to elaborate on it, Maya, but when you first came to me about wanting to become a PMU artist, and I was like, what is that? Like, I don't have a clue about what that is. And you told me the cost of how much it would be to get trained. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And what did I tell you?
You told me to build an interest list first, and it's something that I mention in every class that I teach because it was a valuable tool for me. Like really helped. Um, because when I took my class, well, so I built an interest list of over 30 people. So he was like, "Oh, okay, that many people are interested. All right, let's think about getting training."
I only told you to get 10 and you got 30.
I got 30. So um, the interesting thing about an interest list is that you're not everyone that's on there is not going to patronize you, or they may just, oh yeah, I like that idea. But when it comes time for you to actually do it on them, they're going to be like, not ready. I'll see what other, the other clients that you do, what their work looks like, or just not at this time budgetarily, from a budget standpoint or whatever. So don't be, sad if you don't have a lot of people that bite. That's why a large list is really good because, you may get five people from that list, but those five people are going to be really valuable versus, having an interest list of five people and then none of them
They
says
all
that.
cancel or flake
So,
on you, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, interest lists are really good. I wanted to add about Groupon because sometimes your friends and your family may not want to practice on your mother. You may not want to practice on someone you're going to see every single day. I get it. Mothers are often really great because they want to support you, so it's easier to work on them. But you also have to think about the faces that you're working on and how they will translate and draw those customers that you really want. So, for instance, there's nothing wrong with working on elderly clients, but if your first five people are elderly, then the likelihood that you're going to keep getting elderly clients is very high because that's people want to relate to the customers. I mean, to the photo, they want to see themselves or
Yeah.
who they desire to be.
Yeah.
And so it's good to have different ages so you can speak to different demographics. If
Yeah.
you can, if you can.
Yeah. And that's so important, what you said, that's a big, big nugget of trying to do that. And it could be harder, or easier for some people, but definitely try and, turn over every no stone left unturned and who you tap into. And I thought Groupon is a great idea. And the other reason why that's important is because when you put that investment out there, which is why I asked you to do that when you first started, is like, let's get a quick return on our investment. We don't want to just drop this $3,000 or $2,000 or whatever it is you paid to get trained. And then you don't see that money coming back to you no time soon, right? So it's like, get that portfolio going. And those people, whether they be free people that you give services to, or if it's like really, really low cost. If you do a great job, and to your point, if you get a really good diverse portfolio, then it's like all of that, starts to snowball for you, right?
Yeah,
You begin to get
absolutely.
momentum, and those people start to refer people to you. It's like, oh my God, where'd you get your brows done? I got them done by Maya Moore, the
Yeah.
greatest PMU artist that ever lived. And then it's like, um, you know, that just starts that momentum. And so you really, really want to take that into account, especially if you're new.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do like that you brought up people get referred. So what do you think about referral programs and stuff like that?
Definitely do it. I mean, you don't want to not have that, right? Because you want to reward your clients for telling all the great things there is to say about your work. And so give them incentives. Like if you structure your services where you have an initial service charge and then you charge them for a touch up, tell them if they bring two people in their next time, their touch up is free. Or hey, I'm going to give you, she said, we don't do, whatever it is, give them a discount on their touch up,
Yeah.
whatever it is, be creative. You have to choose what works for you,
Yeah. I
or, offer them an incentive like, hey, you just got your touch up done. I probably won't see you for another year and a half, but I might give you a referral fee if you bring in three people, right? And they continue to earn money from you by bringing you customers, and you're earning as well. So you just have to be creative, think outside the box, but a referral program is an absolute must. You have to do it.
Yeah, I personally did a certain type of referral where it wasn't something like I bought cards or did it was just more of something I noted in the accounts of the person, the client. And I would just tell them that if you refer me someone, you get $25 off your next service. And sometimes clients wouldn't come to me like they'd gotten their first two sessions and it's time for them to come back like a year later for their annual, and they'd referred so many people to me that I just gave it to them for free. And I'd already made above and beyond that the cost of that service for that color boosting appointment. So I wanted them to see and know that I really appreciated them, and it just makes them want to keep referring people, right? It just continuing that behavior. So it
Yeah.
was very helpful.
Yeah. And, again, one of the points that we said in the first video was about just having really good customer service, really good operations set up. You don't want to leave your clients, just unaware about what's happening to them. Your, slogan that I've heard before, and I like to utilize it a lot, is like your best client is your most educated client. So if they really understand the whole process from start to finish and they have a really great experience, they're going to, whether you give them referral bonuses or not, they're going to tell the world
Yeah.
about the service, right? It's like that restaurant that's out there that does no advertising.
Yeah, it's
They don't
true.
put any commercials out, but they're every Saturday morning they're wrapped around the corner waiting
Yeah.
for, for breakfast, right? Shout out to like Clinton Street Bakery in New York, our favorite spot that we love. It's like every time we go to New York, they're always like lined out the doors because their breakfast
Yeah.
is amazing.
Always
So that's
so
a
good.
plug. If they hear this video, they need to give us some free breakfast next
Yeah, the next time.
time.
I
But
love their breakfast.
yes, but that's a good example. Again, I'm sure people have seen that. It's like restaurants that are just amazingly good. Their food is good, their service is good. People tell about, their experience, and people come there all the time.
Yes. Along with that too, since we're talking about restaurants and we're talking about referrals, Yelp reviews and
Yes.
Google.
Oh my God.
Google is major. Can you talk about the importance of Google Google reviews, please?
If you're not doing Google and Yelp, you're not doing it at all. You're not doing it right. And and that, again, depending on your setup, if you're someone working in another studio, you should be getting reviews for that studio and people actively saying, I went to such and such at such and such studio. So people start to see that.
Your
Uh,
name. They see your
yeah,
name.
your
Yeah.
name. Exactly. If you're working, if you have your own studio, if you're renting a place, again, you need to have that set up on Yelp. It's free. There's obviously things you can do with ads and so forth, but at a bare minimum, set up a free account,
Yeah.
set up a Google account so people can find you through Google search and the locations and get those Google reviews going. That just it's the quickest, fastest way for you to get revenue. Like do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I often talk up or mention to my students like there are different types of clients on different platforms. So I'll say like on Facebook, you have everyone, your grandmother's on there. It's not as much of a young crowd anymore, but you have a lot of, people who are middle age and up to elderly people on Facebook, and they're more chatty. They
Mhm.
like to talk, communicate about everything. You've got a lot of forums and groups on Facebook. You don't have that on Instagram. So people are likelier to have a conversation about your business, referrals, all of those kind of things are easier to happen on Facebook, and Instagram is more visual as well as your reels and all of that. Like it really needs to be appealing. When you're thinking about your customer and somebody who's ready to buy, people who are on Instagram may not be ready to buy. So if that's like the only place you're focusing your ads or your attention, you could be missing out. Yelp, when people search something in Yelp, where can I find cupcakes? Jamar knows I love cupcakes. I'm looking for a place right now. I'm ready to buy. When I'm Googling something on Google, where is the, microblading near me or, whatever, clothing store near me, Nordstrom's rack near me. He likes Nordstrom's rack. That I'm looking for that place right now. I'm ready. So if you are in those two places, Yelp and Google, a lot of times when people are looking for these types of services and they see that you have great reviews, they're likely to patronize you because they're ready to buy. As
Yeah.
opposed to Instagram, people will say, "Oh, I've been watching you for years and decades," and it's like, "Yeah, I've been needing you to come all those years." So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's perfect. I mean, that sort of like segues into another point of like, you know, sometimes you can be, really Instagram heavy or one platform heavy,
yeah,
but you really have to take a multi-channel approach, right? And that can be hard, but you have to find there's a lot of like social media tactics out there, which we won't get into now, but you know, being able to take, one or two pieces of content and utilizing it for Facebook, utilizing it for Instagram, utilizing it for YouTube, utilizing it for TikTok, right? And understanding your audiences on each of those different platforms and knowing what type of content that they like to consume.
yes.
If you're sort of stuck in like Instagram or stuck in Facebook or stuck in whatever, then you're really limiting yourself. You might be doing well on those platforms, but again, you're only getting one piece of the pie, but you have to diversify. Oh, that kind of rhymes. You're only getting one piece of the pie, but you have to diversify.
I like that.
So anyway, but you have to do that because again, you're just creating more opportunities for yourself to get more clients coming through your door, and being able to take that approach. So I think that's super important to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And to his point earlier, it is hard. You wanted to start a business, you just wanted to do browse. You didn't know that you had to be a marketing guru and a videographer, take the best photos, understand all these different elements like that. These are now required for entrepreneurs. Like it's important that you understand these things. So that's why we're here giving you this important information because without these are all very critical. And without them, if you're just like, oh, people will find me, I don't need a website, it's just people are gonna find me through word of mouth. Or I'll have a website, but I'm not gonna be on any social platforms. I don't like social media. People say that. And that's fine not to like it, but if you are a business owner, you need to utilize these platforms. So
Yeah.
you got to
Oh
spread your
my God.
wings.
You got to spread your wings, and you just
Yeah.
sparked another one that I hadn't thought about, but now it sort of came back to me. You have to have a website, depending on again, like watch video number one, but you need to define like who you are. are you just kind of like, back of the napkin, Cracker Jack box? That's sort of like an old reference, but are you going to be official? Are you going to be legit? If you are, you need to have a website, and that website needs to be very user friendly. It needs to be very clean, and you need to make sure that, your services and the way people book with you is easy
Very
to
clear.
navigate, right? Because there could be people like, oh my God, I really want to book with them, but I can't navigate their website. It's hard to like select a service. It's super confusing. So guess what? Forget it. I'm going to go to the next person.
Yeah.
Or, let's say you have a really great website, you have a phone number, you have email, you have all these ways for people to contact you, but you don't respond to the message until like 2 days later. Well, guess what? Again, this market is no joke. There's 5, 10, 15 other people out there that people can go to. And if you don't respond in a timely manner, they're out. They're going to find that next person. And so
Yep.
you're wondering why you're not getting clients. These are some of the reasons why you need to
Yeah.
be timely in your response, right? Because there are other options that are out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I completely agree.
Yeah.